Hey guys, Liquid Fire here. Thanks for joining me again tonight. So, as you can see, it's time for another community challenge. But first, I wanted to talk about the poll we put up on the site and kind of go over the results and what that means for us. So, there weren't a ton of respondents, which I didn't really expect, but those who did want to have their opinion heard seem to be in favor of continuing the community challenges. So 87% wanted to keep them going, which honestly I'm surprised that there were that many that actually wanted to keep them going. I was figuring this would pretty much be flipped the opposite direction, and most would be like, yeah, let's just go ahead and do something else. But it looks like I was wrong. So we will continue on with them for a while at least and see how things go. So 60% wanted to keep them as is, so that's easy enough. 27% wanted to make him a little harder, and 13 were like, "Yeah, dude, just stop," which I get. I understand completely. Um, I think what I will probably do is obviously continue doing them for a while at least to see how it pans out over a little longer period. We've only done like 6 of them, I think. But I'll probably make a few changes. There's a couple things that I don't really like about them. The idea was for the challenge to be in the shooting, whatever the animal was, to yes, use a specific weapon to force you to use stuff you don't normally use. I'm all for that. I am one of the absolute worst for being locked into the R mod and the Apex. I like my weapons. I continue to use them. I'm comfortable with them. I'm confident in them. A little less confident now than I used to be, but still confident in them. So being told to use the 7mm .08 or the 1903 or whatever, it kind of forces me to use something I don't normally use. So I like that aspect of it. What I don't like is some of the scenarios where you have to find a specific animal, um, like a mature rabbit, for example. That doesn't sound that hard, but the challenge shouldn't be in finding the creature. It should be in accomplishing whatever the task is with it. So I'm going to look at making some changes in that regard at some point to where it's more about the shooting than about finding the creature. There will be some that are going to definitely continue, which we really haven't had many pop up in here. Not yet, anyway. Maybe we'll get one today. But like, there's some that say you have to have a 10-point buck or 16-point elk or whatever the numbers are. Things like that. I'll probably keep those in at least on the higher levels because I think that in those instances it does kind of make sense. Um, but for something like a bunny, eh, I'm not so worried about it. So small game, I will probably change up how that works a little bit. I don't know if it'll make it harder or not, but I'll change that because the challenge shouldn't be in finding it. It should be in pulling off the shot. And I will look at how to incorporate some longer range shots. I've got to be really careful with that because of the changes to ammo and the upcoming changes to ammo. So I may hold off on that change until we get the next patch in for ammo changes and see how that works out. I don't know, but I think it'd be nice to add in some longer ranges for some of these as part of the higher levels. So that's just a couple ideas, kind of thinking about it. If you have good ideas for what the challenges should look like, what types of elements we could add in to make it more fun, then certainly reach out, hit me up on Discord or on the YouTube comments, just like that. Uh, and yeah, give me some ideas. I'm all for it. So our last one we did was extreme for Halloween. We're going to jump all the way back down to normal, make this one a little easier than what we've had in the past. So let's kick this off and see what we get to chase down tonight. All right, so the Meat Eaters Emporium is hosting the Phoenix Rebirth Observation All-Nighter this weekend. For their honorary meal, you need to hunt a male whitetail deer, and you have to use the SM12 with the core locked copper holler point. All right, so that should be quite quick and easy. So we need a whitetail, doesn't matter what it is as long as it's a buck. And we need to use the SM12 with the core lock. I think we can pull that off. So let's drag this out of the way. Get over here. What are you doing? Alright. Let's go to multiplayer. Well, we'll use Nez Perce. We're going to create a private server. And we'll have to go grab the 300 with core locked. And we should be able to wipe this one out real quick. Of course, I say that, something will go wrong. And to me, and I think to some of y'all, the this type of challenge isn't exactly very hard. Why am I scrolling for 5 miles to find the SM12? Okay, there we go. Alright, and we need to make sure we have the core locked, which is what we already have. It's what I run mostly anyway. So, core locked, we are good. Probably won't need anything else. We'll grab the binos. We'll grab the binos again in the right spot. We'll grab the giraffe just in case for some reason I need it. I'm not going to grab a collar. I'm not calling them in. We're just going to go find one and pop them. So, we need whitetail up here too, so we'll have to go down a little to the south along the river. But I think that just any whitetail with a 300 is super, super, super easy, which was the purpose of making the changes to where normal was not really difficult. But I think it may be a little too easy, maybe. So that's why I'd like to add in something, at least definitely on the higher levels, to where we add some, longer ranges or something to it. We do have, heart and lung shots and things like that on some of the higher ones, so I don't know. I'll have to look at it. But I definitely wanted to mix in some that were just really, really simple. And I think, I call this normal. I think this is really more like easy. I think this should be about the lowest level. I'll say that and screw up the shot for sure. Oh, is that the elk down there? Yeah. If I'd seen a big old 5-star, I'd have probably took a shot at him, but we're not too interested in him. Maybe for the, well, let's just walk right over these guys. Let's see if we got anything exciting. No. Maybe for the extreme level, or maybe I come up with a new level. Maybe I match the levels in game. Hiker to ranger. That could work. But on some of the higher ones, maybe set it up to where you need to do it in ranger mode, or at least without hunter sense or whatever. Of course, if you did the Halloween challenge, you had to do it without hunter sense. The range was just a little too far to pull it off and have hunter sense up. That was a tougher challenge. That's what I would call high end. It's not anything as aggressive as what the original challenges were. They were really and truly extreme. But I think a 1,000-yard shot in today's game is that whitetail or this mule deer? is a pretty big ask. I'll probably spook. There should be some whitetail down through here, if I remember right. So that's the mule deer that are running down. They may not be down in there. We'll definitely find some over here at this tower, if nothing else. Maybe back in the woods over here. Alright, so OBS just died for no reason. Ah, there's our whitetail over here on the hill we were thinking about. They're pretty far up in there. But what I was saying before OBS decided that it wasn't going to cooperate is that what I didn't want to have happen is for these to turn into a process of just trying to find stuff for, you know, a half hour, 45 minutes, or an hour, just to find the right thing to even hunt. And I'm afraid with some of these, it's more what the challenge is going to be. So we don't want that. All right, I'm going to have to reboot or something. Jeez, what is going on? Alright, so we are back, and I'm getting out of multiplayer. I was trying to do something in multiplayer the other night, and it kept being stupid. So I'm going to just go into my normal save, and make sure we got the portal locked out. And we'll just pick out a male here and shoot it, run a little bit of risk. I don't know what time it is. It's noon, so we should have stuff. But, yeah, I don't know what's going on. The game's not been very happy with me in multiplayer lately. So, we'll just come out of multiplayer and do it on the real save. Worst case, I take out a deer that I shouldn't, and I complain about it. We'll see what happens. I have no idea if it's multiplayer that's creating the issues, to be honest. But we're gonna try outside of multiplayer and see what's going on. I can record when I'm doing my normal hunts in Dakota with no issues, and then try to do something in multiplayer and it goes crazy, so we'll see. Every time it crashes, it just makes me want to get that NVIDIA card even more. I know the system's solid, I know the drivers are all solid, so the one piece that doesn't seem to fit is having to process everything across my CPU. Because what happens is it gets around 80 degrees, and then weird stuff starts happening with OBS. And it's running pretty warm. It's running 77, 78. And that's with a 420 millimeter AIO. Sorry, 420 millimeter AIO cooler on it. So what we got here? We got a 1-star young. So I'm cooling as much as I can with the setup I have, and it's just that 14900K just gets so hot. These are muleys. What we got over here? Hello, Mr. Badger, or Mrs. Badger, I should say. Another young. 1-star mature. Well, we're going to have to take you out. 100 yards. We'll, no, we'll not SM12 you. We will hit you with the apex. What in the world? I haven't changed my scope on this one. make sure it's the right one. Oh, I missed. Just flat out missed. I don't think I even touched him. Now, how embarrassing. And it's on tape, there's no denying it. Ah, flat out missed. Hopefully I do better with the whitetail. Yeah, I didn't even touch him. There's no blood, no nothing. Complete and total whiff. Oh well. That's what happens when you use hunter sense sometimes. Alright, so where are my whitetail? Well, we've made it about as far as before and nothing's crashed. Things are still running nice and warm, but maybe there is something to the whole multiplayer thing being an issue. Alright. No whitetail down in here at all? Well, we'll go over to the stand. We know there'll be some over that way. Oh, well, there we go. So they're back behind this hill. I guess we'll see if we can call out something. You can really see a doe over there. I'll have deer coming in from all over. Now there's a mule deer low fit we could take out. Hopefully a whitetail pops out, because that's what we need. If one doesn't, I'll probably drop him just to improve the herd. But I'd like to go ahead and knock out this challenge. On a good note, the wind is at least in a good place for both of them. So anything coming this way, we've got the wind really blowing. And this way it's blowing right to the side, so I don't think that there's going to be a male coming out of here, though. I think by now they should have traveled enough to be somewhere in our line of sight. Well, this guy's plumb way over into the grass. Time calling in. And I'm not getting any calls or anything over here, so I think we can pretty safely assume there is no low-fit buck coming out. I am going to drop him, though. Get ourselves into a position to take the shot. Let him walk into it. Alright, let's go pick him up. Won't work for the challenge, but this is my real save, so a little herd management's not going to hurt. Alrighty, so there's our shot, and I didn't really talk about it, but I tried to make sure that I was really going to hit solid in the lung. The heart is kind of secondary. I just want to make sure I put a good lung shot in at that range with the 300. There was not too much risk. I'll be honest though, the more I shoot here after the ammo update, the more the 300 feels like just the right deer rifle. And if you look at 100 meters, it's just barely above the recommended range. That feels pretty good, and that's the type of damage I would have expected from the 270. Solid through the lung, through the heart, kind of back in a little further. Yeah, I'm not going to complain about that. 36%, so a nice cull. Nothing that's going to go in the Hall of Shame or anything. 202. So, alright. What's bad is a 202 would be like an amazing deer in real life for normal scoring, but in here it's junk. So let's sell him, and let's run back down this way and get over towards the tower and see if we can't find something else to shoot. If I'd had good eyes on those whitetail, I would have probably just field judged and taken something. But where they were at, that was going to be really difficult to try to get good eyes on anything. I could have called out the high fits, but it's just not the solution I was looking for this hunt. What in the world I have? What? How big are you, Mr. Badger? I don't know what I've got. I've got tons of stuff marked. Jim and crickets. I don't know. Is that badgers? Oh, that was from foxes, I bet. Is that what it was? Fox? No? Pretty sure that's a fox zone right here. I just don't see the fox that it's tied to. I don't know. I assume that's what it was from. I think they were the last thing I had to pick up in this verse. How do I not have these zones? Come on, really? There's no way. Yeah. There's been some zones reset. I thought I noticed that earlier in Transylvania. There were some zones I picked up. I'm like, alright, so OBS did just drop off, so it has nothing to do with multiplayer apparently. And something is really driving my processor hard. I don't know. Definitely going to have to reboot after this. I may have some process hung that I haven't noticed yet. Either way, as long as it's just OBS, we'll just continue to bounce it and keep on going. There's some whitetail. What we got over here? Where are y'all going? Stop. They're just going to walk right on by. I could rush a shot. If they're not going to stop. Well, maybe they are going to stop. Here's a 1-star mature. That's what we're after. Well. Alright. We'll let them do the work and we'll just set up and wait on them. And down here is a bad place to be culling. I'll have deer coming in from all over the place. Alright, let's go ahead and squat down. There he comes. Well, I can see him here, and then when I bring up the binos, the LED increases and you can't see him. That's one we're after right there. Nice, lopsided, mature, 1-star. Doesn't get much better than that for a simple cull. I'd prefer to cull as a young, but we'll take a shot soon. He's just going to get down behind those trees, and we didn't want that. So, we'll set up the shot, let him walk into where I'm holding at. And should have a pretty decent shot. Might have been a little high for the heart. We'll see. But it'll definitely knock out the mission, the challenge. And be a nice little cull to boot. Nope, I still got the heart. I thought I might have been a little high, but we're good. Again, my focus wasn't so much on the heart as it was hitting this area here where the lung is. And if I'm in the right spot for the heart, then that's just a bonus. And again, another solid shot, just barely above the recommended, and 117 meters. We still got the full 5-star hunt rating with the 300 at 117 meters. Everything I'm saying is just telling me quit using the R mod and go to the SM12, and that would make Lanani super happy. Anyway, so decent shot, not going to complain. 25.3%, a good cull. Nothing that's going to go in the Hall of Shame or anything, but good enough. We lost 8 pounds of meat. Not too worried about money, still making 330. And this one's a little bigger. He scored 211 instead of only 202. Alright. I think that's going to do it, guys. So, mission complete, challenge complete, whatever you want to call it. We are done. So, hopefully you guys join in and run this one with us. Nice, simple, fun one. Nothing too hard, nothing too crazy. So, Uh, Hopefully you guys enjoy it. I will take a look at the results as more come in over time and kind of get a better feel for what everybody wants to do. But we'll make a few changes. We'll keep running them for a while and see how it goes. All right, guys. Y'all have a good night. God bless and happy hunting.